Good morning, everybody. This is Van Hargis of Van Hargis Horsemanship, and this is the Ranch Road. It's a little brief thing that we do each morning as we head over to the ranch. As always, really appreciate you guys joining us, and I know it's a little short trip from here to the ranch, but really appreciate you guys joining us and doing so. And the last time we talked about lightness and what that means to me, I guess you could say, to a certain degree. And I shared a real quick story with you about a 10-day thing I had with Tom Dorrance many years ago up there at his place, and I happened to have a breakaway Honda in my rope bag, and he happened to see that, and it kind of gave him an idea. We went in there and we roped a few colts, and he had me rope those colts with that breakaway Honda, and the whole point is we both were kind of working with and experimenting how little it would take for us to get a response from those horses. And it was a big eye-opener for me, because we didn't have to pull, didn't have to tug, and didn't have to put those horses in a situation where they were desperate to make a decision. We just kept, through quiet persistence, we kept getting really good quality and good responses from them, you see. In other words, after a while, it got to where we could get lighter and lighter. And I always try to get my horses to respond both from the ground and then into the saddle, to what I refer to as the weight of the rein. In other words, I want them to learn that they feel that rein move and they acknowledge it. That tells us right now that how sensitive those horses can be if we'll just take our time and give them the opportunity to acknowledge that there's a movement, and that with that movement, that consistency of that movement, comes a stimulus, and that stimulus can encourage that horse to move without being under pressure. So we don't always have to apply pressure for the horse to move away from it. Sometimes it could be nothing more than just the hint of this pressure coming, that horse is going to back off of it. So what that breakaway Honda does, it gives you that opportunity to pick up and know darn good and well that if you pull too hard, that horse is loose. So it really makes you think about how light to pull on that rope, and let that horse feel the weight of that rein. And before you know it, through that consistency and that persistence, that horse will do just that. They'll respond off the weight of the rein. I can't emphasize enough how important that is to us. And again, that just comes from, if you're not in the habit of pulling on them, you won't pull on them. And it's almost like I kind of make promises to my horses. I promise not to pull on you to make you turn. But I promise that if you don't pull, that if you don't turn, I might pull on you. You see, it really gets those horses to thinking about how good and honest and responsive you can get them just by doing nothing more than just keeping your promises to them. All right, let's repeat that. I promise not to pull on you to make you move, but I promise that if you don't move, I'm going to pull on you. See, that really puts that ball in that horse's court to respond and to do well. And all you've got to do is keep your promises. So try to get your horses to respond off the weight of the rein. And when you do that, then before you know it, you don't really need that bit so much. You really don't need all the other stuff that we talk about to get our horses light. And in order to do that, again, we've really got to focus on being quiet, consistent, persistent, and give those horses an opportunity to relax and respond. Just another little tidbit about lightness. Hope that helps you guys, and thank you for joining me on the Ranch Road. And until next time, this is Van Hargis with Van Hargis Horsemanship.